is finishing setting up. I just want to make a couple of announcements. If it's for the first time that you are in the Mozilla Dev Room today, we do have a code of conduct that I invite you to read, and it's over here, like bit.ly/FOSDEM COC. It's different from the FOSDEM one, so that's why I encourage you to look it up. If you are a developer, we have a survey going on at this link, bit.ly/FOSDEM17, all in upper cases. And if you weren't earlier at the presentation, I want to repeat that we do want to try the latest version of Firefox, the nightly one that gets all the code in from the developers in real time, not after it's polished and looks good. You can we can find the build at nightly.mozilla.org and install it from there. And if you are already contributing to open source if you are here. If you'd like us to tell us why you contribute and why this is important for you, there's another survey, voila, at bit.ly/why-open-source. Our next speaker is Eugenio from Italy. I hope I said that right afterwards. If not, you know, there are a lot of Italians around here, so be careful what you say. The one thing I know about them is like they really hate Hawaiian pizza. It's like they have an allergy of that. Like, who can eat pineapple on a pizza? I'm like, I don't know, you know, people have, exactly, people have different tastes, but like, no. Never invite them outside Italy to go to an Italian restaurant because, again, you got the point, exactly. He's an open source volunteering contributor for a long time, and I heard he has even tattoos about it. Again, I'm not going to ask where because we have a code of conduct. Ladies and gentlemen, Eugenio.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Hi, guys. Despite Daniele, I'm a Hawaiian pizza lover, so yeah, this is a shocking pineapple pizza. Yeah, I love it.
Sorry.
But okay. But Daniele is a hater. You got right. So I'm here to presenting A-Frame. This is an introduction to the framework for building web VR. And what is virtual reality? Virtual reality serves to create experience and immersive experience where you can go inside using some tools, different tools. But web virtual reality is different because it's set up on the web and it's very difficult to handle. It was very difficult, sorry, because I take this quote as my the starting of my talk because I think the situation where A-Frame was created was like this, that it's hard to create the same quality virtual reality experience online on the web, and mostly because the whole value proposition of the web is to be low frictional, to have low friction. You click on a link, you get an output, and you don't want to download other software to do it, so you just navigate into your browser and use the tools you already have. And it's very difficult to do it with virtual reality because a lot of stuff are involved in order to give you the experience. So there are different devices and different categories of devices. So we got cardboards that are the simplest one. You can build it your own and print a schematic and build it in your house. You got a headset, so you can use your cell phone in order to try virtual reality. And they are just a box. They are just boxes with made by plastic, and you can put your cell phone inside. And we got also the HMD. These are head-mounted devices like Oculus Rift or HTC Vive. So different categories. To the developer side means that you have to handle different kind of SDKs or integration into your app, and it's very difficult to do because the variety of the devices is 10,000 devices out there, kind of different handling of input and output sorts. So it's very hard It's a mess. But A-Frame works on multiple devices, so you can use it as well on HTC, Vive, or Oculus Rift, on desktop, on mobile platform, also as a flat experience without being a virtual reality, like using visors or stuff like that. You can just browse with your browser inside the scene, like you do usually on Facebook when you try to explore a 360 degrees photo or video. And iFrame is already set it up to do this from scratch. You don't have to integrate anything. What you need is just a browser with WebGL support, and now mostly of browsers have got a WebGL support. Also on mobile, especially on mobile, just Opera Mini doesn't have it, but it's crazy because it's an old browser now, it's not very used. And we got a lot of polyfills in order to make some stuff works well on every platform. So, plus, this framework works combined with a lot of other JavaScript frameworks, very famous, like Vue.js or D3.js, and React, Angular, Redux, and also the old jQuery for the cutting-edge lover, technology lover. It works also combined with jQuery, because we are talking just about manipulating the DOM, manipulating some object in HTML. It's a declarative HTML system, and it's made by entity component. It's sort of a collection of tools that you can use to build this web reality. And they got blocks for models, geometry, animations, and other stuff that combined could bring you to create an A scene like that. This is the starting point of every virtual reality project made by iFrame, and I'm trying to explain you because the dark background doesn't help us. But okay, this is a scene. It's a tag, and it's the tag that open the scene that render a canvas in HTML. So it's very basic. And inside the A scene tag, you can print also some primitives that are entities, pre-made entities that you can use to render maybe a sphere, that is obviously a sphere, or a cylinder, or a plane, and we got more and more. But the most important stuff is that you declare everything by HTML data tag here. So you say to the component where to position it into the scene, the size, and also the other stuff, like maybe a particular one of the I don't know, the sphere got a radius, or other stuff got height and depth. So you can also attach it colors, textures, patterns, and other stuff. You can also render a video on as a texture of a primitive element. So it's very easy to use if you render just HTML and JavaScript technology. You are able to do a complete virtual reality game. And as Flaky already mentioned before me, JavaScript is fun. So you can use it to build video games maybe inside this framework. Obviously, the 360 degrees photos are very easy to do with A-Frame, because you just declare an SKY tag. An SKY tag is just a tag wrap the entire environment into the A scene. So it's literally the sky of the scene. But if you embed a photo, especially an equirectangular photo that has a proportion of 2 and 1, like I did here. I don't know if you can read it. I take a photo from a Flickr photo group. You can find it easily. There are plenty of photographs now that go downtown and take picture of these beautiful squares. So you can use it for just testing purpose. Put into the sky tag and just a search attribute, and it will render your environment in 360. Same stuff for the video and the videosphere tag. I like to imagine me taking video like the guy here. I do everything, in my office, but okay. And a video tag is a tag that you put on a plane, on a surface, and you can render a video on this surface like it is a texture. And the videosphere entity is an entity that you use in order to make the video as the environment of all your projects. So you can navigate through the video like I saw a demonstration made by Discovery Channel that they do amazing documentary, and you can live the experience of the downhill skier, and so you can go, you can try skydiving maybe doing this stuff. So what is an entity? An entity obviously is an empty placeholder that we can fill with behaviors, and we can fill with functionality and appearance stuff. We do it in JavaScript, and it's very easy. If you know what WebVR was before a frame, you know that it's a very huge improvement in doing WebVR, because you have to use 3JS and other stuff to render the environment, and it was very hard to do. This is quite similar to 3JS declaration type, but it's very easy because you just call your scheme. The scheme are just the properties that you can pass through the entity through HTML, and then you can create everything with JavaScript in there. So you can take it, declare it, and re-bring it into your environment, just declaring an entity, an iframe, any entity, and call it as you want. So this is the basic, because you can compose it. It's different from an object, because it's not an object. If you try to think that in 2 dimensions, like Flaky shows before, you can use an object to map everything, because you can reuse the same property of the object. But in 3D spaces, you need something that you can combine. So if you got an entity, you can put an entity inside another entity and combine the behavior of one entity with, I don't know, maybe the geometry of the other one entity, and make a better entity and a bigger entity that makes more stuff. Okay, we got a A-frame registry at all. We are waiting for it. A-frame registry is a component ecosystem where you can download entity created by other people, but also libraries and stuff that could be useful for your project. And this is cool because you can just download it and put it into your project, but there is another cool stuff that A-frame released in the 4th version, beta version, and this is the inspector. This is the coolest stuff I've ever seen in a library, JS library, because with this you can inspect the scene. It's included in A-frame, so you just include your library and click Ctrl Alt plus I on Linux and Windows. I can't remember in Macintosh, but I think it's quite the same. And you go into the inspector, and the inspector is cool because you can also live editing the stuff. I'm trying to put live code here to show the inspector. Okay, I'll try to go into inspect mode. Okay, and I'm here. Close it. This is the inspector. I can inspect a scene directly. I can also inspect the element of the scene. I can change behavior and the geometry. I'm sorry, but the screen is very small. Try to, oh God. Okay, don't worry. We can go back to the scene, okay. And this is what I created with the photo I told you before. This is Brussels, and I put just these 3 objects inside, so we can manipulate it with the inspector. I try to do it. Maybe I reload. Yeah, okay. So you can change everything by clicking. Oh, come on. It's too small. It was a cool feature, but we can't see it. Okay, so I explain other stuff like if you change the behavior of this element, okay, I change the position, I can see it in this little space where the component is now, and I can also add new elements. It's quite easy, and it makes me choose. Okay, I take the entity. It makes me choose for a list of a component, camera, canvas, cursors, also the bug and cone, or light. You can render light inside the scene. And after I can change everything by changing here, and I also can save it. Export to my HTML, so I can use it as a 3D modulation software in virtual reality. Less than Blender, but something like this. Or you can also use object that you rendered by Blender, you made in Blender. You can embed it as an object inside your scene, and then with the inspector you can easily manipulate it and save it. So this is a very, very big, very, very big improvement. I like to see the website. This is the central website where you can find everything you need about A-frame, and also the demos. Some demos require obviously headset or HTC Vive in this case. But if you want to try it, especially A-Blast, that it's very new, I'm addicted to first-person shooters, so this could be funny. And this is you can try it tomorrow in the Mozilla booth. We are in the second floor, and you can find us with the HTC Vive, so you can try it. Ask. Maybe there is a little bit of queue, but try to find Flaky or me or other people there, so will be let your time more sweet. And then bring me back to my presentation. So how can you start developing with this? You can start in very two easy manner. One is by installing the boilerplate. Why do you need a boilerplate? You need a boilerplate because it runs an old server on localhost, and it avoids you sometimes stuff that are a little bit frustrating, like cross-domain issues. And if you run a localhost server that is completely set up if you download it from FOSDEM boilerplate, FOSDEM VR, FOSDEM boilerplate. And it's just an index HTML with a basic example where you can start and inspect it and do it with also with drag and drop if you want, or by code if you are a coder, or front-end with front-end technology if you are a designer. And this is the most sharp way to learn how to do it. And there is a big getting started part on the website that's full of example. Or you can start from CodePen. There is my CodePen that I shared before. I tried to manipulate before. And CodePen is or Timbo are perfect because it requires just the inclusion of a JavaScript file, and then you can also see it live. They support it. I have tried. Or get in touch with someone of the community on FOSDEM VR Slack Heroku app, or you can read a lot of stuff on the FOSDEM blog that it's very active. I found a lot of libraries there, especially the particular rendering library that allows me to render starts in a project. It was included also in the FOSDEM registry after, but I discovered it by reading the blog, so it's very helpful. And Stack Overflow, obviously, because if you need something, there is Stack Overflow. And also the Twitter account. If you are interested in VR technology, I invite you to follow this Twitter account. That is the official one, because they release a lot of news. Okay, my time is run out, so thank you, and I hope to see you tomorrow at the Mozilla booth, second floor. Thank you.
If you have a question, we have time for 1 or 2 questions. Raise your hand. Yes, please. Can I please ask you to repeat the question? There is one in the third row.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't see.
How the objects are rendered, like adding shader effects or something?
Okay. He asked me if it's possible to manipulate. No, don't worry. He doesn't need it, but okay.